Simi tweeted, I can't remember exactly what she tweeted word for word, but it ended with "Stop raping women."
Would you rather be told that you look poor and hungry, or you look like you don't need this sort of money?
Beyoncé, she flew over the kids.
Oh my God. Season 9, welcome. Episode 1, season 9. We're still standing.
They haven't arrested us. We haven't been sued. Ooh. What? Actually,
so look, can you please stop?
That was a little lawsuit, but we're
can
good.
You please stop.
We're good.
Anyway,
at least nobody. Where did they carry you to? When they carry you to Abuja?
I don't know. I've never been.
You know when you say something and online about somebody and next thing you're arrested and they pull you? That has not happened. We're so thankful to God.
Hello.
We're so thankful
thank
to
you,
God.
Jesus.
Yes.
But thank you all for rocking with us. This is season 9, episode 1. We're super excited. My name is Gbemi.
My name is Toolz.
And this is OffAir with Gbemi and Toolz.
OffAir.
Yes.
First off, what do you guys think of our promo? Wasn't it like, look, you need to admit it. Even if you hate us, we looked badass. We look badass. I so whenever I do like a photo shoot and, I get dressed up and everything, I actually embrace a character. And what was my name? Mommy Gold.
Oh, God.
Mommy Gold.
Oh,
that was my character and I loved it.
And if you don't like us, you don't have taste. That's all. Let's move on. But first of all, a big shout out to our friends at Plato. And let me just quickly tell you what they're doing, right? They're doing something really cool. So imagine you're all at home. Maybe you're with friends or you're with family. One person wants shawarma. One person wants ribs. One person wants pasta. And sometimes you have to order from different places and pay like different delivery fees. They have all these things. They have different varieties under one roof. So check them out at orderplato.com.
Sorry, as you were talking, I was just thinking, what if it's just you by yourself and you just want different things?
As well. You can't do that.
Sometimes I'm like, I want some ribs, but then I also want rice, but pasta would not be bad.
Yes, and shawarma on the side.
Yes, there you go.
Don't judge.
Okay, so since we've been away, a lot has happened. Oh my gosh,
Every time
lot
we get
has
messages.
happened.
I can't wait to hear your view on this.
Like, I don't even know where to start. One of the things that we need to talk about, one of the things we need to start with is the Tyra Banks, America's Next Top Model documentary. That has been out for like a few weeks now. Lots and lots of reactions from different people. And a lot of people were basically just saying that Tyra did not own up to her mistakes. Because, look, if you think about it, like, let's be very honest, right? Stuff that happened on TV, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, some of it, if you watch it now, outrageous, crazy stuff. And do I feel that some of the girls were put in certain situations where they shouldn't have been? I agree.
Unfair situations, yes.
But you need to also remember when Tyra started America's Next Top Model, that was like almost like the beginning of reality TV. And people were going crazy.
Well, fair, yes.
It was constantly about pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. So I feel that she could have, because she was very, very thinking about taking responsibility. She did something absolutely fantastic because we got to see, people that we'd never seen before. Like, I think from America's Next Top Model, you probably saw your first model or your first person with vitiligo and all these different things. And then that back then as well, plus models, it wasn't a thing.
I think that she had the best intentions when she first started. She had been through Shaggy, like she said, with the modeling industry and them trying to pit her and Naomi against each other. So she really wanted this platform to...
Look, I don't think Naomi liked her as well. That's another story though.
You know that she brought her on her show, right?
Yeah, Naomi was like, oh, okay. And she was like, you did this to me. And Naomi was like, oh.
And
like,
it was almost like and. But yeah, I think that two things can be true.
Yes.
Did this show open up, doors for some people? Yes. Did some people are arguing that no true superstar came from that show? Depends on how you measure what a superstar is. I also think that they did some outrageous things.
Yeah.
And you also remember again that you are looking at a show that was shot that began in 2003, 23 years ago in 2026. There's so many things that used to happen on air, on TV that are not acceptable now. Think of, I was also watching this documentary about, the show The Biggest Loser.
I saw that one.
where, there were some outrageous things that were happening. But then again, reality TV then was a lot more brutal, a lot more raw than what it is now.
Yeah.
Now, what I did not like was the J's, Mr. J and Miss J.
Pretending like they were innocent.
I love all the I
I
love
was
all
like,
the
you were quite nasty.
you don't
too.
understand that. See, when this show started, I was in uni, so I was watching it in real time. I was watching everything, and I still follow both of them to this day. But they all had a hand in it. Tyra, Ken Mock, the Asian guy, Jay, Mr. J,
Janice Dickinson.
Janice was nasty. Everybody,
She was, you know what? I feel like Janice was nasty. Like what you saw, she wasn't kind of one of those. Oh, she was nasty. And for me, in a weird way, I appreciate those people more than people that will throw stones and then hide their hands. Yeah. So when Mr. J and Miss J and the other J Manuel, when they were now talking in this documentary, I was like, why are you guys acting like, oh, we didn't really want to? You guys were actually pretty mean as well.
They were part of it.
And then they obviously wanted to be part of this documentary to talk about how Tyra shat on them. Yeah, I can see that. And everything. And how, I guess they're not really friends and what have you. So one of the things that I was like, wow, I don't think I watched that season. There was a part of the documentary where this girl, I think they were they'd gone to Italy or something. She had a boyfriend and they had some wine. They invited these guys over and something happened.
Controversial views on
I
that.
have very controversial views because I was watching and I don't think I mean, maybe I need to watch the season again. Maybe I need to watch the particular episode again. But what they showed, she was making it seem as though she was unconscious and this guy was taking advantage of her. And I was like, you had a few drinks, from the beginning of the night. You were vibing. You were in the bathtub. You were,
In the hot tub.
Yeah, hot tub. If I had a boyfriend, and
I'm not going to be in a hot
tub with guys. So I think there was drinking, there was merriment, there was whatever, and stuff happened. Now her saying, "Oh my gosh, they should have cut it off and everything." No, I feel like you made your decision. You made your decision, and it was just unfortunate that all the cameras were there.
They're now saying, "Oh, she was SA'd." I don't fully agree. She didn't know what she was doing. I was very skinny. I drank 2 bottles of wine. Sis, I remember again, I watched this thing live on TV. We all used to watch it. And she went from the hot tub with the guy to the shower.
Yep.
They were doing stuff in the shower. Were you unconscious in the shower? And this is not victim blaming or whatever, but anyway, there was this whole, I was just like, I don't agree fully, but again, we were not there. But all I'm saying, at the end of the day, I guess this is what happens in some cases when you're a pioneer. When you do something that has never been done before, you're going to make some mistakes. Now, people were saying, oh, she didn't own it, she didn't apologize. The problem is the moment she starts to say, I am sorry, people are now going to say, lawsuit, aha. Now we can sue you.
But so. I feel that there was a way that Tyra could have handled it. She didn't need to come out and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I did this. I did that. I did this. Pretty much like you have said, and like I said at the beginning as well, this was 20-something years back, right? When, reality TV was crazy. People were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And you were constantly, the networks, the TV companies behind you, they were constantly pushing you to do something to make it crazy, to make it more crazy, to make it more crazy. And I think that she could have said, look, there's certain things that happened that now I know better. I probably wouldn't have done this. And you don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I take the blame. I do this, I do that. Because guess what? This show didn't run for 1 season and it left. It ran for
seasons.
Yes, because people loved it. So as much as you are, as much as a whole bunch of us are kind of just saying, oh, she this happened. But we still watched it. We still watched it.
In 170 countries. But good luck to everyone.
And I feel that when it comes to reality TV, even when we were talking about, when we were talking to some of the, what should we call them? Contestants? No, not contestants. Some of the people from the Real Housewives of
Cast.
Cast. One or two of them expressed surprise or disappointment at how they were portrayed. And I always stress, reality TV, it is not about showing the best of you. It's about showing the most controversial. What's the most entertaining? So, for example, now, Gbemi and I, let's say this was like reality TV. We could, like, this conversation is fine. But I snap at Gbemi. They're like, editors like, that's interesting. And literally 90% of the conversation has been pretty cool, pretty okay. But where there's tension, that's it. And then after a while, it's like, that you're there to create tension. Like, imagine a reality show where everybody got along. There was no fighting. Reality show is all about controversy, creating fights, creating wars and everything.
What did you think about the quote unquote extreme makeovers? There was a girl who was very upset that they closed her gap.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that they closed her gap and then they had another model that they were like, oh, we're going to open your gap a little bit.
That was a few years after.
Yeah. And I think so that's where I had issues with Tyra, because I was like, I can understand, thinking I want to give somebody like an edgy makeover. But if it's something that they are very, very like, no, this is me, this is like who I am and everything, that's why I disagreed. And I felt that some of the contestants were bullied when they didn't go along with certain things. It's almost like, hey, so you don't want to be on top? Well, I'm telling you to close your gap. And Tyra was, it was when she was talking, I was like, this woman is mad. And is it that same show that she was talking about ice cream? And I was like, okay. And she's like, I want my legacy. Was it on that show, on the show or something else?
I can't remember. I think they were showing a clip from what she's doing now.
Yeah.
She's moved to Australia. She has
something
an
called
hot
ice cream. And she's like, I've done that. Yes, it's in the Guinness Book of Records and everything, but I want my legacy to be ice cream. And I'm like, Tyra, is everything okay?
You know that Tyra is a bit loopy, but you know what? Watch the documentary. Let us know what you think, okay? I'm sure there are going to be documentaries about shows
all
much
of these different.
The line. Yeah.
I'm surprised. I actually feel like there must have been at least one documentary on Big Brother. There must have been. Must have been. Like in the UK, Big Brother in the UK was.
Speaking of Big Brother,
crazy.
I think on this season we need to talk to one or two ex-housemates of Big Brother. Like, some people feel like it's like a poisoned chalice. Let me explain. So you go on this show, in 90 days, everybody knows who you are, and everybody automatically expects you to be a star. But the reality is that not everybody gets that life.
Yeah.
And so they go through a lot of, mental health issues, and imagine being popular, but you're broke. We'll talk about that later in this season. Anyway, Cardi B is on tour. 3 months postpartum. Sister, I give you hand. I could never. I thought she was going to cancel the show. I was very worried for her because Beyonce has set the bar high.
Beyonce has.
Let me explain.
Yeah.
Beyonce, she. I think, I can't remember what show it was. I think the Miss Carter one. The tour. She started her rehearsals, I think 8 or 6 months ahead of time. She was on a very strict diet. No sugar, no oil, no carbs, no this, no that.
See, but Beyonce is a beast. Beyonce is a beast. And I don't think I fully appreciated Beyonce's beastness until I saw her in concert in Paris. And she was fully on stage. I was there cheering, dancing. I got tired and had to sit down.
And the person that
and she was so around December time when I was complaining about the prices of concerts like in Lagos, it was because there were certain concerts that I heard about in December. This dirty December that just went past. These tickets were more expensive than Beyonce's tickets.
And they're not giving you a Beyonce type of show.
They're not giving me 10, 12 outfits. They're not Beyonce all four. She flew over the key, God. And you're just there, DJ, run track 4. She literally, when I marveled, and even the way
she has a flying car, she has a horse.
So the way the stage production in itself, in my mind, I was like, I have never seen anything like this in my life. The fact that this person has to be here at this point, and they know, and everybody had a role. You didn't have like 10 freaking 15 people on stage just wandering around like yo. You didn't have to. So I really want us, you know, in Nigeria with the music industry to step it up.
Give people value for their money.
You know, sorry, let me end on this. I'm not venting, I'm just saying. So when I realized there was a big problem, because everybody says, oh, the Nigerian factor, or, you know, we don't have this or we don't have that and everything. So I realized that, okay, something is very, very wrong. When Chris Brown came to town and he performed at the same hotel that all of our faves have been performing at, and it looked different. And it was like a different vibe. So I was thinking that a lot of our artists, right, they have decent money. They've got decent money. They've got like good money, you know, to buy this and everything and whatever. And I know that Chris Brown's show, putting it together wasn't cheap. You know, and the cost of it wasn't cheap. Just like the cost of the Dirty December concert tickets, not cheap. So if you're going to do a show and you want to charge people like their children's university fees, then make sure like it's like a fantastic show.
And make sure you come on time. Here's what it is. Let's talk about that real quick. Most artists don't put up their own shows. They don't put up the money for it. It's usually an organizer, a production company is like, okay, yeah, we're going to pay you this amount. We're going to do the whole show. And then we're going to recoup our money from sponsors and people buying tables and tickets and stuff like that. But you need to do better.
You can make demands. You can make demands. There's
a lot of them don't care.
Even when Chris Brown came, he didn't do his own show. Somebody did the show for him,
I know,
right?
that's what I'm saying. So you just need to, it has to be, I will not pay for any artist tickets that, you know, I know they don't care about their fans. Those artists that show up late and don't even apologize, I'm not going to come to your show. I'm not going to spend money. I'm not going to invest my hard-earned money. If there's a few artists who do their own shows, or whether or not it's organized for them or not, or whatever it is, and they come on time.
Okay, and quite sadly, this year, there have been some deaths in the entertainment industry. Yeah. Dawson of Dawson's Creek. Oh my gosh.
That's so sad.
That was so sad because last year they did a reunion and he was supposed to be part of the reunion rather. And like before the reunion was about to start, you know, they'd already talked about the fact that he wasn't going to be part of it. And at this time, he had already announced that he had, colorectal cancer. Oh. Yeah. And he now did a video. And in the video, you know that look where they're like
looking really ill.
It's not looking, you know. And in my mind, I was like, oh my God. I was like, please God, no. Because this is somebody that, you know, I grew up watching. I don't want to wait for you.
Gen Z will not know. It was an iconic show back in the day.
All white people, by the way. All white people. But it was still very, you know, yeah. And so that was very sad. One of the things that really surprised me, and this is what surprised me with Dawson and also Eric Dane from Grey's Anatomy. Is how these are people that, I mean, you wouldn't say they're like the wealthiest or, you know, the richest celebrities, but they've made, you know, decent. They've been on decent projects for like decades, and you would think that they've made, you know, decent money. Yeah. So I was quite shocked that with Dawson's family, James, I call him Dawson. They had to there was a GoFundMe for his family. Oh. And I also read that before, about a month before his death, his friends helped him buy his house.
I think also it's because of how expensive healthcare can be in America. It's not. Even when you have insurance, there's levels to it. So especially when you have like a really serious illness, it's very quick. It's very easy to blow through all your savings and investments when you have like really serious life-threatening illnesses. Yeah. So it's not, I don't think it's that, we don't know their finances, but I don't think it's that they were reckless. It's that almost everybody in the world, except maybe you live where there's free healthcare, is one serious illness from bankruptcy.
Yes. I agree. And I saw like so many people donating, and I didn't know you could actually do this with GoFundMe, where you can do like a monthly donation, which I thought was fantastic. Okay. I think one of the celebrities that they highlighted, I think it was Zoe Saldana. She kind of, was it 2,000 or 5,000 a month?
Monthly, okay.
Till like whenever. And then Eric Dane, it was just weird because we just saw him in Bad Boys, is it 4 or I don't know whichever one, where he played a villain. And he looked okay. Martin Lawrence looks worse than him. And then this ALS, he was diagnosed in 2024?
Yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah, so I had to, I'm curious about all sorts of things. So I had to look it up. And basically, it depends on where it affects you. So there's some people that get ALS and it's basically really affecting their limbs.
Okay.
So, and it literally just like weakens and stops the muscles or whatever from working. So if it happens to your limbs, obviously you can't really walk, you can't do that. But the ones that progress very, very quickly and they deteriorate very quickly are the ones where it affects like the chest, the breathing.
Was that the one that had?
That's probably what he had, because it progressed so quickly. And I made the mistake of watching is it My Last Words on Netflix?
I refuse. No.
I'm not doing that again.
No,
I'm not doing that again. It was a bit too much, because this is somebody that you're looking at somebody looking at their death. And it was just too much.
I saw the first few seconds on socials, and the fact that he wasn't even talking well, I was like, no, this is not how I want to remember this person.
Yeah.
So let me just move.
Yeah.
And, it's so sad because I remember when he and, what's the guy's name now? Patrick Dempsey were on Grey's Anatomy, and they were McSteamy and McDreamy, and it was such a big thing. Man, may he so rest in peace. It's so sad. And he was also great in Euphoria. Euphoria is also like a show that has like a cult following. I can't wait and they said they were able to shoot some scenes with him for the new season that's coming out this year. We've waited like 2-3 years for that season, by the way. So yeah.
And he was such a fine man. But don't watch it if you don't watch it. If you're not if you can't handle stuff like that, because the last scene, there's like a shot on his face. So the person that does the show, that's like the host of the show, they, he asks questions, they go back and forth, and then he now gets up and he's basically like, your last words. And he's talking, he talked about his family, and then the last scene is one shot of his face, and they just focus on that. He's got intense eyes. So he's there. Oh, it was much. I can't
do that,
yeah, rest in
please.
peace.
I can't.
Let's move on to something. I was going to say more fun, but this isn't more fun. What the hell is going on in Mexico?
See, please explain to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so as somebody that has gone to Mexico many, many times, there's certain parts of Mexico that as a tourist you should never ever go to, and there's certain like very, very touristy areas that the cartel, all these people, they don't really go to, and you're relatively safe. But I can't remember his name, but the head of one of the biggest cartels in Mexico was killed by the army, and all of his people just went mad. It was almost like they were rioting on the streets. They were burning vehicles. So they were basically saying that if you're in Mexico, stay indoors, don't go anywhere. And I also heard unconfirmed reports that they were also targeting Americans, because apparently this was an operation that was done in conjunction with intelligence they got from America. So they've killed and guess what? This guy used to be a police officer.
Oh.
He used to be a police officer, so he was able to obviously grow his, he
had that advantage.
His cartel. But the crazy thing is, we now saw videos of his cartel, like people from his cartel, and they had like tanks.
Yeah, I saw some. They were all wearing black and they were in gear, and I was like,
like, this isn't the Mexican army. So yeah, if you've maybe booked Mexico for a trip, maybe not. Maybe just
find somewhere else to go.
And then there's certain parts, I said there's certain parts that are generally, touristy areas and, like Puerto Vallarta, all these different places. Yeah, they're saying that stuff is happening there as well. Me, I'm just like, just don't go.
So where can you, because you say, oh, I want to go to this exotic location, and then imagine going to a place like that and then drama happens. Maybe there's a coup or something, or there's some drama. Like, that is wild.
One of the times that we went to Mexico, so this is why when I go to these countries, I'm just like, just give me like an all-exclusive resort. So
you don't have
like
to go anywhere.
There's 6 restaurants, 10 pools, there's all of that. So I'm just there. Do you understand? So we now decided to go on an adventure, and we left the resort, and it's a very mountainous, area, and we did zip lining, and I ended up like injuring myself, so I cried. And then we also went to like because you keep on going higher and higher and higher, so we went to like right the top of like the mountain, and when we were going up, we now saw these, I don't know what to call them, but they like Black Marias or something.
Okay.
So we now were like, because you're going round and you're going up. So we were now like in our little touristy whatever.
But you
and
were
then
seeing
I don't
an
even know
operation
what
happen.
and now we now saw like police, and you know what? They nearly ran us off the road. Like it wasn't like a, like nobody could, because I was with like Americans, nobody could try that. I'm an American citizen. I was going to be like, I'm a British citizen before they woes me. I was just like, let me calm down. So I was just like, what's going on here? So we ended up going to top to do some, like quad biking. But I was just like, let's just be careful.
Justice for Nigerian citizens. So imagine going to, I'm an American citizen. I'm a Nigerian citizen. Come on, the road. Come on,
did you see that some guy did a skit and he was basically saying that imagine if he was in Mexico right now and he needed help, like all the different consulates and everything. And I'm like, no, things are getting better. Anyway, so just which other countries? Avoid Mexico. A lot of people actually that were planning to go for the World Cup.
There's drama.
So Mexico was supposed to be part of the World Cup.
Mexico,
so
the US, and Canada.
So it's looking like Canada.
It's only Canada that would do this because Donald Trump doesn't want you to come to America.
Donald Trump doesn't want you. Like a lot of people that book tickets to watch games in America have asked for refunds because they're worried about going to America and being like,
bundled
kidnapped
by
ICE.
Yeah.
The craziness that's there. Mexico, they're worried about being kidnapped by the cartel. Canada, just small cold. You guys will be fine.
See, just look. Good luck to everybody. Let's talk about Nigerian streamers.
I don't want to
either, but remember I've said it in previous episodes that there's certain people, once I see, you know how you're on social media now, you don't have to follow someone to see their foolishness. But when, it brings it up, there's some people I just swipe immediately like, ew, I don't want to see. But the blog still reports anyway. And I blame the blogs as well. I blame the people who pay attention to these people. Somebody got a car from some rich man. Next thing you know, live on stream, another person jumped on it and scattered it. Next thing you know, that person too got a new car. Meanwhile, there are people, and I'm just thinking to myself,
wait, who is this? I don't even know who you're talking about.
So one streamer, I think Cartel got a brand new car or something, a new car from E-Money, and he was showing it to Pella. Pella jumps on the car and Cartel is upset. Next thing you know, he goes onto Pella's car. And am I saying it's? Am I telling the story well? And then somebody I think Carter broke his windscreen, and then the next thing you know, there was a whole drama, and then E-Money then also gives a car to Pella, and I'm just thinking to myself, and there are some hardworking, smart Nigerians who are hustling, who are doing a day's honest work.
Why is E-Money
and
giving
nobody's
them cars?
dashing them cars, and nobody's rewarding, but you are over here rewarding what I will call foolishness. Because why
is he giving them cars?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
When I see Casey next, I'm gonna ask him.
Anyway,
what happened? Anyways,
but I just feel like some people say, for them to thrive in the streaming world, they have to do a lot of nonsense. Because at first I was like, wait, so explain streaming to me again. Somebody's just there and you're just sitting there for hours watching them. And somebody explained, it's kind of like how people used to listen to the radio back in the day. You can listen to one show and be doing your thing, be doing your job, be driving. So I guess it's kind of the same thing, but instead you are watching. And so to keep people's attention, a lot of them do a lot of nonsense.
Okay, so we have what's his name? Is it Speed? Is it IShowSpeed?
Speed.
He's a streamer, isn't he? Mm-hmm. And I think his Africa tour was one of the best things that has, in terms of the stream world, one of the best things ever. And I love the fact that he was having fun. Mm-hmm. He was really having fun, but along the way, he was really educating people, because there's some people that literally only have seen Africa from the news and, and there's some people that didn't know about certain countries till he went there. Mm-hmm. And when he came to Nigeria, before he came to Nigeria, I literally was praying. I was like, God, please, 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 let it be good. Let it be good. I just said, let us not carry last. Let us not carry last. Let us not carry last. And then when I heard, you look so strong, woof, woof, I was like, Jesus.
I mean, people argue that, apparently that's part of his thing. He makes noise, he barks, he screams, he has his own scoring as well. I was just like...
Yeah, but when somebody looks at you like, wrap it up, nigga, wrap it up. Wrap it up alone. I literally was watching what happened in the different countries. I feel like one of the best experiences he had obviously was in Ghana, and it was curated beautifully. I wasn't quite sure what
did
the
he
plan.
do in Ghana?
So he went to the Shea Butter Museum or whatever, and then he had like there's this lady, I can't remember her name, that she runs like this shea butter museum. She's stunning, like dark skin. She looks like a goddess. And he went there, and they're obviously telling him about shea butter. And then he now got massaged by like about 10 women.
Oh, I saw that one.
And a lot of people are now like, I want to do that. But that was I feel a beautiful Black African experience. Shea butter, one of the purest things, or one of the
they export from Ghana a lot, and Nigeria,
and just a bit of history. So I wasn't quite happy with what happened in Nigeria, and then. I don't like, maybe, they're saying that we're getting older. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why I haven't
You don't understand the appeal of streaming.
I don't
Imagine
get it.
spending...
I like, who I liked? I like the robot girl. What's her name?
What's her name? Jarvis. Yeah.
Jarvis. So when I first saw her, I thought she was very interesting. I was like, okay, I get this. I wish that she had like fully like focused on that. Because I was interested. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like her in different situations and everything. And she's not a robot, but she's acting like a robot.
Yeah, and then, like it's content.
Then the relationship with, is it Pella? It just was, And then I was like, you know what I thought? I'm not their target audience.
We're not the target audience.
So
I don't get it. Like, I just also feel like people say, oh, they're making so much money. They have more money than you. Congratulations to all of them involved.
Yes, it's okay.
But, anyway, let me just not say anything so they won't say I'm a hater, but...
No,
we know that there's a lot of laundry happening.
Really? People that laundry money? Why don't people ask me to launder money?
Do you look like the sort of person that would agree to such? One, will you agree to such?
How do I...
Number two, they're like, this one don't chop belly full. I should not need them now.
Do you know what? That is discrimination.
How?
I don't know if it's positive or negative. This reminds me of when I was working in MTV. I used to work in London MTV by Camden. Camden is used to be like sort of drug central.
Okay.
And I worked there for several years.
And?
I never got offered drugs. So I would be walking with people. I would be walking by myself. Look, it's like I just find it interesting. I was like, do I look uptight?
Would you rather be told that you look poor and hungry, or you look like you don't need this sort of money?
I just thought
Choose
maybe,
one.
No, I don't think it had anything to do with
No, I'm
being
talking
poor.
about the whole laundry thing.
Yes.
And then now...
Are you saying there's only poor people that launder money?
I think that... I won't say it's only poor people that launder money. I think there's a certain characteristic, or should I say, what's the word I'm looking for? People with loose morals. Do you look like a person with loose morals?
How do you know if my morals are loose or not?
Well...
Anyways, so yes, I'll consider your offer. I'm not going to say, I might not say yes, but I'll consider it. I just feel, like, why didn't you ask me?
You will do jail. You will do jail.
I can't do jail, man. I'll be like, can I get a cleansing kit, please, with some glycolic acid? No? Soap, water? No?
Okay. You're not serious. What else are we talking about,
All
dear?
right, okay. So this has been going on and on and on. Okay, where do we start from now? So a few weeks back, a girl called Mirabel came online, and she basically said that she'd been assaulted, and so when things like this happen, you can very, very quickly get upset. And I've actually learned, I think being in the industry for a while, I've actually learned to just try and gather the facts first before I jump into it. Because, you heard her story, and some stories that you hear, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, this is barbaric. And I do strongly believe that rapists should be sentenced to death. Like, if you violate, the ones that violate children, it should be immediately, So you hear these stories, but in the past, sometimes it's good to just let everything settle before you go ahead and, like make your decision or, speak about it. So this Mirabel girl came out and she said that, she was assaulted, blah, 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 blah. Very sad. A lot of people are upset. I think there was another story as well.
Some girl and a photographer.
Yeah. There was another story as well. So it was almost like lots of people were quite rightly upset. And then her story started, there were holes in the story. And Simi tweeted, I can't remember exactly what she tweeted word for word, but it ended with "Stop raping women." And some guy was now asking her about
false accusations?
False accusations. And I think again, I can't remember what she said word for word.
STFU.
Yeah, like that's not what I'm talking about now. And and then the whole thing escalated into so a lot of people now started focusing on Simi, basically saying, oh, what are you trying to say? You don't care about false accusations and blah, blah, blah. And then as this girl's story began to unravel, I felt that there was way more pressure on Simi than her. And it became she has to apologize. And Simi was standing on ground like, I'm not apologizing because what I said was stop raping women, which I still stand by. And one of the things that happens, or one of the things that's been happening over the last few months now is when the mob is after you and they go and dig up your tweets. They go and dig up your tweets and anything incriminating, it's brought out and it's like, look what this person said, look what that person said. So this is how I feel about it. If we're looking at numbers, if we're looking at statistics, there are way more assaults, sexual assaults, happening. These are sexual assaults that are not being reported. Some are being reported. A fraction of them are being reported. But in terms of what is in existence, there are way more sexual assaults in existence than false accusations. So there's that. Now, having said that, I do not think we should completely disregard false accusations because the way I see it, right, there's certain people that were moved by Mirabel's story, like, oh my gosh, this happened to you, I can't believe it. They believed her and everything, and even maybe sent money. Now, if somebody else, it's that whole thing about crying wolf. If somebody else, comes out now and says this happened, if you were one of those ones that were so incredibly moved by Mirabel's story and you're like, this is horrible, this shouldn't happen, this shouldn't have happened, and kill the person that did this to her. If somebody else comes up and again, it's like a sort of similar story, you're probably going to act differently because you're like, look at this one now, this wasn't true, and what do we know about this? So I feel that anybody that accuses somebody of sexual assault falsely, I feel that you are doing a massive, massive disservice to people that have actually gone through that. The people that have gone through that some people don't know how to ask for help, are worried to go to the police because they're just thinking, they're going to be asked, what were you wearing? Why were you there? Why were you? All of these different things. So when things like this happen and they see the way that, they see what happened, it is now very, very difficult for them to come up and tell their story.
Yeah, some people argue that false accusations, people who falsely accuse people of sexual assault should get the same penalty or same punishment as rapists. What do you think?
I don't think it should be the same. I think
it should be very severe.
It should be severe. I don't believe that Mirabel actually named anybody, but I think she should be, whatever the police need to do to her, that's fine. And on the flip side, I've had to really think about this in different ways because, before I became a mom, as a woman, that, like I said at the beginning of this, in terms of statistics, there are more sexual assaults, violent sexual assaults against women than women falsely accusing, way, 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 way more. So I'm focused on that. But then now I'm a mom to 2 boys and I'm thinking I would never want my son to be in a situation where he was falsely accused. I would never, ever want that. So I do think that, yes, anybody that is falsely accusing somebody, and if that person ends up going to jail, it shouldn't be a case of, let's just say sorry and hug.
No.
There's this film, I can't remember what it's called. This lady.
Films, where they lie and then they come back and say, I was lying. So meanwhile, this person has spent years rotting in jail.
This guy, he was I think they were in high school and he was trying to play American football. So there was a girl, so she falsely accused him of rape. He ended up going to jail, and not only that, the school district paid her. Like her family sued the school district. They paid her. This guy went to jail, but he did get released. But he couldn't now do a lot of things because he was a sexual offender.
He was on the register,
list,
yeah,
on the register. So he was fighting. He was fighting to have his name removed from that, and he was a promising athlete. But by the time he got out of jail, he was already
old,
in his, I think, mid to late 20s. So she destroyed his life. I don't think she went to jail. I don't even know if she apologized, but it was horrible. So I would say that, yes, definitely people that falsely accuse others of rape, sexual assault, they need to be dealt with. Now, let's talk about Simi's tweets.
Her tweets were made, 12, 13 years ago or thereabouts. I don't agree with them, but we also need to understand that a lot of people said a lot of things that were not acceptable back in the day. Just like how we were talking about Tyra's show, there were things that happened back in the day that would not fly today. But her point about rape still stands. Stop raping women.
Do you think she should apologize?
For what? She shouldn't apologize for saying stop raping women.
Yes.
But for the tweets, I guess, yeah, because again, I don't think she's nobody ever thinks anybody's an abuser, right? But whether you looked at it as, it was tweeted in 2013 or today, they still give you cause for pause, like.
Yeah. Then they now went to go and drag out Adekunle's tweets as well.
Yeah.
And how do they even do that? Do they just sit on the...
What people do is just sit and search your name against certain words. So
doesn't that take forever?
Yeah, but if people want to sit down and witch hunt you in a way, and then I think it's also, there's some sort of coordinated attack as well, because what I also noticed yesterday was that there were 20 or 30 something Twitter accounts that were opened recently. When I say recently, this year, late last year, that were tweeting kind of variations of the same thing.
Who do you think is behind it?
People who just maybe don't like the person, or, and she's also, this is not the first time that she's been, should I say, piled on. There was a time when she spoke against Yahoo Boys and they dragged her for weeks and weeks and weeks. There was even a whole song about it.
I don't even know what, I feel like I don't even know what's going on.
So here's the thing. I find that there's nothing wrong with sharing your opinion about something if you feel strongly about something. What I have noticed is that there is a coordinated effort to kind of bully people, especially women who are very, very outspoken about certain issues. Especially if there are guys that speak all the time, about different things. And yes, they do get dragged too, but there's like this extra vitriol. And you don't have to agree with me, it's fine. But I think that her original stance on stop raping women still stands. And I saw a clip the other day. It was some lady, I don't know her name, but she was speaking with Trevor Noah. And she was talking about how from when you're a little girl, you are taught to protect yourself. Watch the way you sit. Watch what you wear. Don't leave your drink. Don't go into the dark. Don't go out. How many people are also talking to their sons and their nephews and, there to say, consent is a big thing. Do not assault women. And people feel, you don't have to do that because you should know it. I feel like as much emphasis is put on women to protect themselves, you should also push it that to the guys, to your sons, to your nephews, if you're mentoring a young man, to say, sexual assault is never okay. Assault is never okay. As much as you're also telling the girl, it's just like telling somebody, be careful, don't wind up when you're driving. At the same time, we should also tell the other people to don't be a criminal, don't steal. Do you understand? Do you see both sides?
What I struggle with is stop raping women. Why?
Stop raping anybody, women or men. Stop raping anybody.
Or why? Okay, no, the actual statement, stop raping women. Why do a lot of people, why is that something that should be upsetting to anybody?
I think that it shouldn't be upsetting to anybody. I think that people who are triggered by that are I'm side-eyeing you. Yeah, I'm side-eyeing you as well because, a lot of people have also done some stuff that if they look at it with today's lens, they realize, oh my God, I acted inappropriately.
Do you find that, because you said something about a controlled attack,
Coordinated attack.
A coordinated attack, rather. Do you think that it's predominantly against Nigerian women that are openly feminists?
Yeah, that too. That too. You know, there's also this, oh, you're feminist, Abby. I will show you, You think you have mouth, Abby? I will deal with you. They've started,
what is that need? What is that need to kind of, why can I not be a feminist and everyone's okay with it?
They are the same people that have made the word feminist a slur.
Yeah.
Oh, those Twitter feminists. It's become an insult.
Honestly, I think because I don't think I'm on social media as much as I used to be. So every now and then I come and I'm just like, what's going on? Like on Twitter, for example, I'm going to call it Twitter. I'm never going to call it X. On Twitter, for example, I go there and people are just writing stories now. Like I woke up today and this happened and then and I'm just like, what's happening? What's going on?
I missed I think it was how many characters that time? 160 characters or whatever. Now people are writing like full on.
No, but they're writing like should I say, I don't want to say controversial, but
paragraphs.
They're writing
saying nonsense for engagement.
Yes. They're writing lots of clickbait stories. Something else that I've noticed that's happening on Twitter is like I'm trying to get some of that Elon money, right? I say Gbemi's a pimp. She's always been a pimp. Blah, 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 blah. You're like, oh, really? My lawyer's going to get in touch with you, this and this and this and this. But by that time, the blogs have carried it. People have come to check, oh, did Toolz actually tweet that? They've come to check. The views are going up. The views are going up. The views are going up. And then your lawyer sends me a letter and I just apologize. I just tweet and apologize. I might not delete that tweet. I'll just apologize and say, oh,
they've started carrying them.
But guess what? But some people, the money, I don't know how much money they're making from,
$30, small money here and there. Here's the thing.
They are
fooling, and they say, oh, they're earning in dollars. You are being a fool for small money. But here's another thing I've also noticed. Something that was happening from December into this year is a couple has posted their pre-wedding photos maybe on Twitter. Somebody would just come and say, that one, me and my friends passed that around like chin-chin. And it's a lie.
I saw.
And I've seen it like 4 times. They've done to different women.
One of the guys that did that, didn't he get arrested or something?
Yes.
And they kept him.
Like, oh my gosh, she said yes. This one with me and my guys don't knock finish. And it's a lie. Why are you doing this?
People that this happens to, it needs to be one of those, I will get you picked up, I will sue you, I'll do this, and you can say sorry, but no, I'm not going to take that sorry. Because you're literally just doing it for numbers.
You do that?
And then I'm so late. I thought Banger Boy was like gay boy.
No, it's people who are just fooling on the timeline, like doing,
It took me a second. I was like, why are they calling this guy a Banger Boy? I wonder what he did.
And people who would knowingly, another thing they also do is this. So there's a clip, maybe a short clip from an interview or a podcast or something. They would write the total opposite of what you said because they know that a lot of people are too lazy to watch the episode or to watch, not even the episode, just that short clip. And then you watch the clip and you're like, this is not what this person said. How can you do this? Like you just sit down and just lie. Just lie.
It's because they're not beating people anymore. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right, what else do we need to talk about? Do we need to talk about... I saw something that made me really upset.
What?
A short while ago. What's her name? Helen. The Helen and Chief Priest. It's Chief Priest, right?
Oh, God.
Saga. So she has not relented. She hasn't stopped. She like Diddy, she ain't ever gonna stop. And she was filming something, and I think her son was trying to get her attention, and she snapped at him so badly that this boy actually started crying. And I was very upset about that because she was taking out whatever frustration, she has with his possible father against him. And this boy was just like crying and she's trying to get out and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Right now, I feel like I need the authorities to step in because that is not a healthy situation for a child. And then somebody else, okay, this is silly. Somebody else said that the reason the boy looks kind of like Cubana Chief Priest is because Helen looks like Cubana Chief Priest.
They all look alike. But here's what I'm going to say about that. I feel like if you had a friend who is being dragged publicly, this is going on how many years
My
now?
friends would never do that.
I mean, Just saying, you have a friend and you wake up and somebody is dragging this person. Oh, this is your kid. This is your kid. Will you not say, as a good friend, can you please put us all out of this misery and get this test done so we can rest? Please.
I don't know.
Like,
I would. This is 2026. Can we have this situation wrapped up? Does she need help coming into the country? I'm sure somebody can fly her out and just do the DNA test and let's,
Can we just all rest? Like, I'm so tired.
Okay.
Shout out to Tonto Dikeh. She has found Jesus. Praise the Lord. We're happy for her. I think that, I don't know why you are laughing. Why are you laughing?
Nothing.
I mean, look, this woman has been through a lot. You know,
Tonto scares me, by the way. She actually scares me.
She's actually very calm.
Yeah.
I've met her once or twice, and she's so calm and so lovely. And then I'm looking at her
I've
like,
interviewed her. It was so. This was years ago when I was doing the juice. I interviewed her, and we had such a nice chat, like just before. Then the cameras went on, and she was like,
Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening?
Was
And
she feisty?
A little bit. And I was just like, but we were just, and that might have been the first time I met her. Anyway, so she has turned a new page now.
Yeah. So look, I love a rebrand. She's been an actress. She's been an artist. She has been a politician. And now she has fully committed her life to God. And she's made up with her ex-husband, the father of her child. She's visiting pastors now. She seems peaceful. Look, sis, whatever makes you happy.
Choose peace. But can I ask her, does that mean she's not going to dress up as the dad for Father's Day?
Not anymore. They've made up. They're standing next. If I didn't see with my own eyes, they're standing next to each other, hugging, taking pictures. Do you think they're going to get back together? I don't know. I really don't care if they get back together.
Because the person who was I guess Tonto's friend or whatever, I can't remember what she was. Yeah, she's been talking a lot.
I mean, I saw one video where she was like, "Oh, we're not friends. We're not this one." But they now brought out an old video from Hip TV where she was like, "Oh, we've hung out. We're cool." And then she also mentioned that, "Oh, her husband is like my brother." You always wanted a brother.
She's gonna be brother too. Let's
she
see
got
what
6 tattoos. Something. Good luck to all of you.
Just for poetic justice, I would like them to,
get back together.
Maybe not fully get back together, but just have like a few moments. And she cannot be accused of snatching him. Just for fun.
Please, I just want her to be peaceful. The way she's peaceful, she loves the Lord. I love it for her. Whatever role she
I mean, if she falls off the bandwagon once, I don't mind.
Whatever role she transitions to, she fully. But do you know, the other day she mentioned something like, "Don't call me an actor. I only acted for 4 years." I was like, wow, for 4 years, and the impact. The popularity, the fame.
Love it.
4 years. If that is accurate. Wow.
Love it. I love how committed she is to rebranding. I love it.
You're
I love
allowed
it.
to rebrand as much as you want to. Feel free.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see what happens in this space. It would be very. Just a little bit of poetic justice would be nice. It'd be nice. Because I hate those situations where the person that becomes the snatcher is like, oh, they were friends or they were like somebody that they knew. You're gonna snatch. Make sure you don't know the wife, man. Okay, so that is it. What we have tried to do is just wrap up or do a rundown of some of the main stories from the last few weeks, the stories that you guys were tagging us on. Somebody actually said, if Gbemi and Toolz, if they don't talk about this Simi issue, they're not serious people. We talked about it.
Okay.
And what? See, the thing is, I think sometimes people feel like when we know someone, we won't be objective. Like, I feel that I can like you can be my friend, and you can still make mistakes, just like I can make mistakes. And it's actually okay to acknowledge, that, okay, maybe this person
was made here.
There was an error in judgment. That's fine. I don't think you need to join. I don't think you need to freaking write like an open letter. People that do that irritate me. Why are you writing an open letter? If you don't know me, if you don't have my number, what is your business? So if I know you, I'm not going to write an open letter. I will, maybe give you a call,
open
send you a
letter
message.
Anyway.
Has anybody, have you had an open letter? Like, I'm like, if you ever, like, are you mad? Anyways, all right. So hope you enjoyed that. If there are any other stories that you feel we missed out on, feel free. And of course, if you want to share some of your stories, there's always fan mail.
Yeah.
showoffAir@gmail.com. And
send us a DM.
Yes, or you can send us a DM. And I want to say that this is a judgment-free zone, but we try not to judge.
It depends.
I'm only human. Okay, it is now time for Money Zone. Money Zone brought to you by Moniepoint. This is where we make sure that your money is good.
Yes.
See, this is how much we care about you, right? We're giving you entertainment. We're giving you information. And most importantly, we're making sure that your money is good.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, everybody says that Nigeria is hard right now and nobody's wrong. People are complaining about slow sales. But I think that usually happens like Q1 of the year. People are still trying to recover from Christmas expenses.
December.
Exactly. You pay, some people will pay, school fees and so many other things. So we understand that prices keep rising, opportunities can feel unpredictable, and we're all hustling, But this is where tools that give you clarity, not this one, tools that...
Clarity or tools?
Excuse me.
While Gbemi is coughing, I'll just entertain you. Tools of clarity of tools.
Tools that bring clarity and control change the game. Now, with Moniepoint, you can do so much. You can download the app, get your bank account in minutes, request for a card. They bring it to you in 24 to 48 hours wherever you are. You can pay your bills there. You can automate your payments. You can get loans. You can do so much with the Moniepoint app. So make sure you download it today.
Yep. And also, I think you mentioned this, but I think one of the things I want to really emphasize is you can track spending, save toward goals. There was something that you mentioned in the last season that, is it like November, December time, you try and pay your January bills and everything.
Yes, I do that.
Yeah. So all of these things are very important. Nigeria is hard. Are we bad with money? I think some of us are bad with money because Nigeria is hard. Because you could,
two things can be true.
Yeah, two things can be true. So you could be in a situation where you've saved, throughout the year, you did good. You're very diligent, very disciplined with your savings. And then your auntie, she needs to go to hospital. She needs this, she needs that. And then everybody's looking at you. And then that's how like a decent chunk of your savings could just go.
Exactly.
Or, I don't know, your car. Something happens to your car. And then, you have to like sort that out. The repairs are crazy and yeah.
What I like is that whether or not you are a business owner or whether or not you are just using it for your regular account, the fact that you get instant notifications, whether you're sending money to someone, they get it immediately, you are sure it's going there, or whether someone is paying you for something or sending you money, you get it immediately as well. You can get a POS. We even have POS for Swebank in this studio. So listen, they have solutions for everything. All right. So it's not about whether Nigeria is hard or not. Find ways that find tools that can make your money work for you, that can make your life easier, can make doing business easier.
Yep. And don't forget that with Moniepoint, you can also access working capital loans to help your business grow based on real transaction data, not guesswork.
Not to Wambe loans.
And for SMEs ready to level up even further, Moniepoint offers Moneybook, which combines POS, sales tracking, inventory management. So all of those people that are like, there's so many stories. You know what? Let me finish this. I'll tell you about it. Inventory management and bookkeeping in one place. It helps you understand what's selling, what's not, and what your business is actually making. So, in the past, when we've talked about business as business owners, I think one of the things that always scares me is like when you have like a physical, store. And maybe you're at the point where you can't be there every day. And then you hear these stories of, I heard this story of this lady that she sold hair. She had like wigs.
Oh, I saw that.
And one of her staff was selling the wigs.
To a reseller.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, hello, my queens. So basically, this Moniepoint app. So basically, Moneybook by Moniepoint. It combines POS, sales tracking, and inventory management. So literally, you can see what you have, what has been sold. You can easily detect any discrepancies, and you can go and hold your staff by their shirts. Simple. Simple.
Don't listen to her, please. But don't hold anybody by their shirts. But yeah, you get the point. All right.
Gbemi's talking. She's the one that will actually hold them by their shirts.
Have you ever heard of me holding anybody by shirts
Yes.
anywhere? Where?
Many mechanics have testified.
Me, no.
Conductors, bus drivers, mechanics.
No. I was attacked first.
But you still had their shirts.
I held the neck,
There you
actually.
go.
I choked the person.
There you go.
But he hit me first.
Stop acting like a guru.
No, he boxed. A grown man scratches your car, then runs away. Then you catch him and you say, come and look at my car. And then he boxed my chest. And you think he's going to go scot-free?
You see, guys, I didn't even start anything. Look at where we are now. You act like a lady.
When you reach your turn.
You act
when
like
you reach
a
your
lady.
turn, cry like a lady.
No,
Somebody
I didn't
box
say
your
that.
chest.
You act
Cry
like a lady. And you pepper spray or use your stun gun.
No, I choke you with my bare hands.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Can you see?
And there was blood and it wasn't my blood.
see? Can
Don't
you
fuck
see?
with me. Sorry.
Can you
Just
see?
saying.
And this is the person that's not going to hold the shirt of their staff. Women will just come with the cutlass. So yeah.
But guess what? It is not it's not just, oh, surprise, I'm going to attack you. You do something. There's consequences for actions, my G. That's all. It's okay.
It's 2026, Gbemi. You're a mother.
I am a mother, but I will still beat your ass if you attack
fighting
me.
on the street like this anymore.
Let me tell you something. The other day she was telling me that somebody bullied her. I said, you better, first of all, deck the person back. Are you okay? Hey, somebody comes to you and says, oh, your son says, mommy, they bullied me in school. Give the person uppercuts. Are you okay?
Oh, actually, my kids are about to start boxing.
Yes, now.
There's one gist there, but let's run this on. Your fear of sharing your man isn't our problem. We share ours. Do you know what? I've seen these people. I've seen these people before. They're like a throuple. There's like two girls and a guy, and they're literally just living their life happily in Lagos. We need to get them on.
We need to bring them on.
We need to get them on because I'm like, and look, two different specs. You've got this is like one day call song. Lekpa lekpa to bado, orobo to bado. This guy is enjoying.
We need to bring them in.
I want to find out what the dynamics are. Like, are they allowed to introduce another guy, or is he just the only guy?
We'll find out.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting. Would you ever be in a throuple?
No.
Ever?
No.
Who'd you have a crush on?
Who do I have a crush on?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
It was Tyrese.
It was Tyrese, but when he was fine and sane. Not now.
Yeah, your Tyrese crush was a little bit worrying.
Why?
He was
a nice dark-skinned chocolate man with bald hair, good teeth.
A bit strange.
He could sing, he could act.
Yes,
And we didn't know too much of what was happening in
remember
there.
that time that it was your birthday? That I was trying to get him to wish you a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Then I tweeted, and he wished me a happy birthday. I was
happy
like, but
birthday, Olodo.
Olodo.
That's when I was just like, ew, no.
I was about to slide into his DM and be like, you're a foolish person. Anyways, I want to speak to them.
Drinks.
It's cocktail o'clock.
Drinks.
Woo-hoo.
Ooh, really chilled. Hi. How are ya? Thank you very much. Yay. Oh, and it's so cold too. Yeah. Ooh. It's absolutely. Thank you. Oh yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to OffAir gang. Cheers to our sponsors.
Season 9.
God bless
Clap
you. Thank you. Cheers to Gordon's Gin. Okay,
Yes,
let's act like we're wine tasting. Have you ever been wine tasting before?
I joined there was a wine tasting club that I joined. You pay a small subscription. I used to go for years.
I got so drunk. And then if it was really nice, we wouldn't spit it out.
Yeah, I used to spit anything.
I taste rich berries.
Yes.
Berries. With a citrusy edge. Yes, delightful, refreshing.
Oh, that one for your pockets. It tastes nice.
Gbemi's like
It tastes lovely.
and the ice. Love it.
I love the ice.
Yeah.
So nice. Can we have them like on every time we're shooting? Just be serving us cocktails. I swear the show will be even more fun.
So this is a fantastic cocktail. What I would like to add, some more fruit.
Why?
To make it healthier.
Be healthy. These already healthy. It's okay.
Add like, you know, if you add like a few pieces, it can count towards like my 5 a day.
You're not serious. You're not serious at all.
I'm a very, you know, I believe in mixing and, you know.
I love
so yes, like some strawberries, some apples, everything. I'm consuming fruit as well.
Whatever floats your boat, say. It's okay.
All right, okay. It is Friday. Thank God it's... Anyways. And we want to make sure... Don't worry, look. There are people with worse voices that are making money singing. All right, so it is Friday, and we want to make sure that your weekend is turned the bleep up. We're doing this courtesy of Gordon's Gin, of course, and we're doing this thing called Spin the Weekend. So if you're watching us and if you're thinking, I want to do something fun this weekend, but I'm not quite sure what to do, hold your seats. We shall tell you in just a second. Gbemi's obviously busy drinking, so
very busy.
Yes, I am going to do this. And we're going to play something called Spin the Weekend. We've got like a wheel. Is it like a, what do you call it? Like
it's
a roulette wheel.
So it's just...
Yes, and we spin it. We've got different activities that you could do over the weekend with, you know, your partner, with friends, by yourself. So we will recommend a certain activity, and then we will recommend a flavor of Gordon's gin for you to pair it with. All right. Can we... spin the wheel?
Ta-da! What does it say?
Okay, what does this? Okay.
Brunch and gist.
It says brunch and gist. So is this brunch and gist in your house or brunch and gist like at a restaurant? Or does it matter?
Does it wherever as long as you can have, you know, your brunch, your gist, and of course your cocktail by Gordon's. Listen, there's nothing more delicious than gists. Hey!
Gist, good food, good drink.
Let me tell you something. Especially when your friend is giving you the gist and you're just like, you people are making noise and giggling wherever you are, whether you're in your house or in your friend's house or at the restaurant. Gist. The moment somebody says, I have gist for you, I'm tingling. I'm tingling. It's almost like they've told me, dearest gentle reader. Hey! Gist.
What do I feel like you would actually really love to be Lady Whistledown? All right. So as you are planning for your brunch and gist event this weekend, we recommend that you pair this fun activity with Gordon's Sunset Orange. It is bright, smooth, citrusy, the kind of drink that says, we got time today.
Listen, I'm telling you that the gist will flow smoother with Gordon's. Let me tell you something. The gist will just flow. Your bonds will be tightened. Your stomach will be full.
Your what?
Your bond, your friendship bond.
I thought you said buns. I was like, what do you mean buns?
No, not.
Oh,
no.
sorry.
Your bond with your friend that you're gossiping with. And then, of course, you'll be happy. Simple. Cocktails every week, every episode, please.
Gbemi's nearly finished the cocktail. That's why she's so merry. Gbemi has officially started her weekend.
Yes.
And make sure that you kickstart your weekend with a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, we recommend Gordon's Sunset Orange.
Yeah.
And make sure you make good times great. On that note, while Gbemi is still drinking, I'm going to wish you a very, very happy and safe weekend.
Yes.
Go out, brunch and gist. And
Have
if
fun.
you want to share some of that gist with us, we are definitely ready.
Send us a DM. We love it.
If you haven't done so, make sure you like and subscribe. You know what? While you're going for your brunch and gist, tell your friends to subscribe as well. Yeah, because we're looking out for you guys, so you guys look out for us. Be safe, and we'll catch you next Friday. Kisses.
Cheers.
Cheers.